Thanks for staying with us. So today we have with us one topic that is really resonates with many people and directly affects women. The topic is about women and estate planning. So if you're a career-driven woman, like the ladies of Yourview, a mother, like the ladies of Yourview, a caregiver, like us, and a business owner, like the ladies of Yourview, or even a housewife. In fact, we have housewives too. Estate planning is vital, very vital aspect of securing your legacy and your family's future. Join us on the show to tell us more about this is a private trust specialist, FBNQuest Trustees. In fact, you're now a lady of Yourview. Mutiat Olatunji, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
When you leave, our viewers always call it, why is Mutiat? Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So when we talk about estate planning for women, what exactly are the key elements to consider?
Okay, so when we talk estate planning generally, you see women at the background. They are not actively participating in estate planning. And there are some things they will say to you. They will say things like, oh, my husband has an estate plan, so I don't need an estate plan. I don't even have assets, so really, I don't have anything to plan towards. They forget the fact that whether you like it or not, you own something. So one of the key things you should consider is that whether you like it or not, you own assets. As little as you think you own assets, whether you're career-driven, you're stay-at-home, you have assets. And you have beneficiaries, you have loved ones, you have kids, you have your dependents that you want to take care of. So these are the key things that should play at the back of your mind. And just ask yourself, if a man should have an estate plan, why shouldn't a woman have an estate plan? We are the backbone of the home. We are the backbone of the society. You see a lot of women making waves in the society, financial sector, economic sector. So why shouldn't we have an estate plan when we have all of this already?
So how can women ensure that their assets and wealth are protected and distributed according to their wishes, based on what you're saying?
So number one is have an estate plan, either a will or a trust. So you have all these assets, you've made all this money, you've made waves in your industry. How do you ensure that this thing outlives you? You must have an estate plan. You cannot want to preserve all these things for the next generation without having an estate plan. So you need to have a will, you need to have a trust. Don't say, oh, you're telling me to write a will. Are you trying to say I'll die tomorrow? No, nobody's saying you're going to die. But this is something that is inevitable. How do you want your kids taken care of if anything happens to you? Death is even far-fetched. There's a lot going on in the economy today. Financial crisis, incapacity, so many things. How do I want my loved one taken care of? How do I ensure that the education, the welfare, the day-to-day living of my kids, of my loved ones, of my parents is not affected?
Yeah,
Wedding
absolutely.
events,
It's a major part of our culture.
Yes, so all of those things.
Okay, so are there unique, like in dealing with women, when you talk about estate planning, are there some unique challenges that you would say that affects women when they sit with you?
There are a number of challenges. The first thing you hear is women will tell you, my husband has an estate plan, so I don't need one. Forgetting the fact that your husband won't have access to your account details. He won't have access to the investments that you own. There are certain things your husband will not have access to automatically just because he's your husband. If your husband has an estate plan, his estate plan will only cater for the asset that he owns in his personal name. So what happens to asset that you own in your personal name or asset that both of you own jointly? Because lots of women these days, they own assets jointly with their husbands. You have the house and you say, my husband has taken care of it in his will. Okay, so for example, what if your husband predeceases you or you predecease your husband? How do you want that assets taken care of? Or what if something happens to both of you at the same time? Yes, the property is in your name, but what should happen to it? Who should take care of it? Who should own it? How should it be managed till your children become of age? So all of these things need to be considered. Another thing is the culture. Some cultures will tell you women can't even inherit. So they have no place in saying they want to give out anything that they own. The women herself, their assets that we own. So what are they giving out? This is another thing that women say to you. But we tell them that whether you like it or not, you own things. And the power lies with you. You have to do something. You have to empower yourself. And you have to take that first step. And the only way you can take that first step is by having an estate plan.
Okay, so I love about women empowerment. I have a foundation that does women in real estate. But financial empowerment is very important before you can plan an estate. So I want you to break down what role financial empowerment would play in estate planning for women.
Okay, so when we talk financial empowerment, a lot of people will still tell you that I don't own any lots. But then again, have you sat down to structure your expense in the month? Whether you like it or not, there's a portion of your expense that you can save. And trust is an estate planning, so all the funds that you put in your trust to be invested. So that portion that you say, okay, I've taken care of all my other expenses, I have this 1,000, 2,000 naira. Why not set up a trust? It's going to be invested. You earn return on investment. You can now use that trust to plan for your children or for your loved ones. You can say, once this trust gets to this certain amount, I want it to take care of the education of my children, whether or not I'm in the picture. This is the type of school I want my kids to attend, and I don't want anything to disrupt it. This is the lifestyle and standard I've set for my children. Or I have parents, I want to ensure that on a monthly basis, there's a standing instruction to my trust so that I'm not doing the transfer or I forget. On a particular date of every month, a certain amount goes out to your parents, a certain amount goes out to the charity that you fund. So all of these things, women need to sit down and actively think about it and plan. We women, we leave things to chance. We just scribble down something on our notepad or on our
I'm so
phone.
embarrassed because you've come here several times and I have not called you. I hear this every time.
And you don't remember.
And I keep saying that I will call Mutiat to have this conversation. So there are housewives that say, listen, I know I would like to have a trust fund for my kids. I've been listening to Mutiat. How do I even go about it? I don't have any assets. I mean, I'm just...
How much do I even have?
How much do I even have to start
money is not even enough to buy Morocco soup.
But you know that you have people that also do ajo.
Yeah.
So why not see your trust as an ajo? And then you start building it gradually. And then you have return on it. And it is secure. So you're not doing ajo with maybe one person that comes to the market every time for the market women that feel, I don't have money. So when we start to think of estate planning in that light, we realize that with the little that we have, there's a lot we can do. For the housewives, we know how when we get the monthly allowance, we shall make sure that the budget is enough and we have something extra. And the housewives that also have side gigs, they work from home. There are so many online jobs these days. Your husband gives you monthly allowance or something. So all those funds that you just keep somewhere, set up a trust. Let's even start from the basics. Set up a trust. It is as easy as ABC. And at FBNQuest Trustees, that's why we are here to help you set up your trust.
I like the setting up part. So how can a woman initiate, want to start? What are the first steps to take?
Okay, so first step is do an asset inventory. I'm sure if I ask the ladies of Yourview to do an asset inventory, thinking of it now, you feel you don't have anything. But if I give you a paper, it will actually be full. Because there are so many things. Exactly, you have your lead. There are so many things that are your assets. We have jewelries. These things are assets and they cost a lot. There are women that have apparels that are very dear to them. And they'll tell you things like, I wore this for my wedding. I want my first daughter to put it on. You can have that in your will. So it's as simple as that. You can have all of those instructions contained in your will. There are women that are academia, they have books, and you say, when I'm no longer in the picture, set up a library, donate to a library, put it in your will. So it's not always naira, kobo, money value. When you actually sit down to look at it, you have a whole lot. And so that's the first step. Do an asset inventory. Who are the beneficiaries of this asset? It doesn't have to be just your kids or your loved ones. It's that time of the year. We're rounding up. People will say, oh, I'm going to do this visit, I'm going to this orphanage. Put a trust structure around it so that whether or not you are there, it would outlive you once it is funded. So all of these things are what women can, and really, we are the ones that...
You've opened my mind.
Because whenever you come like this, our minds are always...
So
when you go now, forget.
Action.
What's the next? How do you provide this support and guidance? How does FBNQuest Trustee help in putting this together?
Okay, so the first step is to reach out to us. Just give us a call and we'll have a meeting with you. We'll sit down with you and help you analyze everything. So our number is 080-54-000-299. So just give us a call and we'll guide you. We'll take the first step with you and we'll walk with you all through the journey.
Awesome.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Anytime I come here,
Yes.
I feel like, hey,
wow.
But we know we have to make that call, at least have the conversation, because everybody wants to get their school fees sorted, travel, assets, so many things, and, it's a good thing to have a plan towards that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go on a short break. When we come back, go on to the next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.